Are you wondering what is the great things about Loveland and maybe not so great things about Loveland? That's exactly what this video is for. Let's get started. All right, Christy Lee here, and I am a local real estate agent in the area, and I try to help people who are moving to the area get to know the local, city, what it also has to offer. I also do videos on where to take your kiddos when you're bored, places to eat, fun places to drink, things like that. So if it's something that interests you, please click subscribe right there. That way you get notified every time I have a new video. So you're thinking about moving to Loveland and just want to know a little bit more about it, maybe the pros and cons, because everything can't be great, right? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. So first off, I'm going to go off of 5 pros and 5 cons. So definitely make sure you stay to the end so you get all 10 to make up your decision on whether or not you think Loveland's going to be a good fit for you. Let's start with the pros. My very first pro of Loveland, Colorado is just the accessibility to both Fort Collins and Greeley. So, and actually Longmont as well. So where Loveland sits, it actually is only about 25 minutes to Fort Collins, only about 25 minutes to Greeley and Longmont as well. So you're kind of right there in the center of all 3 of those. So depending on where you're working, you do have great accessibility to all 3 of those cities. Especially, if you don't have to worry about, driving that far anyways. So I definitely think that the accessibility of Loveland is a great pro. If you're thinking about moving to Boulder, working in Boulder or something like that, Loveland's probably going to be a little bit too far for you. But definitely Longmont, definitely Fort Collins, and definitely Greeley are going to be great choices if you choose to live in this area. Okay, my number 2 pro of Loveland, Colorado is all the events that they have to offer year round. But most importantly, they are Loveland, right? So actually they take over, Valentine's Day takes over in this city, which is awesome. And they have a Fire and Ice Festival, which is right around the Valentine's Day time frame. And they have, ice sculptures and fireworks and things like that. It's so amazing. It brings people from all over the state. As well as, because it is Loveland, people will actually send over their cards, their Valentine cards, and have it postmarked from Loveland. So on the front of it will actually say postmarked from Loveland, which is really cool. They also have the Budweiser Event Center, which is in this area as well, and that hosts events all the time. In fact, I was literally just there watching Monster Jam last weekend, and so that was a lot of fun. So if you live in, Fort Collins, Greeley, Longmont, any of those areas, Budweiser Event Center is really great. It's right here in Loveland, so you're able to access that area and, have concerts, Monster Truck Jam. They have a bunch of those kind of things that happen in there. Okay, so the number 3 pro on the list, I truly believe is one of the most important ones, is the cost of housing out in Loveland. So in 2021, right now, the average home price in Loveland is going to be mid-400s, which depends on where you're looking at, but I think that's actually a great price for this area. You get a lot more house in Loveland than if you were to live in Fort Collins or Longmont. And the prices are going to be quite a bit less for what you're getting. And then still be able to get to those cities relatively quickly. I highly think that Loveland is just a great place to start a family, to move here originally, especially because of the home prices. You get a lot more for your money, and it's just because it is growing, people are going to be migrating here. So therefore, in my opinion, when you're selling your house, in 5-10 years down the road, you're probably going to get more for your money, only because people are going to be moving here, they're wanting to be here, and so they're willing to pay for it. And if you got in here at the lower price, more better for you, right? Okay, Okay, so if you like the outdoors, Loveland's gonna be great for that, being number 4 on the pros list. And Loveland is a great place to spend time outside because they do offer a lot of stuff. So you're gonna have Boyd Lake out here, which if you like to fish, if you like to boat, paddleboard, whatever that might be, Boyd Lake is gonna be the place to go. Thompson River's out here too, and so you could go fly fishing, kayaking, tubing, all of that. And then Devil's Backbone is going to be on the west side, and that's going to be a great place to climb, to hike, to run. So if you're really an outdoorsy person, Loveland's going to be a great place to live for that reason alone. You could also head up to Fort Collins too. Horsetooth Reservoir is up there as well. So if you like the outdoor boating activities, this place is going to be really great, and that's definitely number 4 on my pro list. All right, last but not least is number 5 of my pro list of Loveland. And this entire time I've been having the backdrop of all of these art sculptures. And there is a reason behind the outside of this major road right here. It's because Loveland takes extreme pride in their art and their crafts in this area. So they always host events that that promote local artists. There's actually a whole area that has all of these sculptures, more of these sculptures on display. You could walk around, you could, run around, ride your bike, things like that. So Loveland loves to take care of their own. This is actually, I believe it's the largest art exhibit in a small town in the world. So that's something to be proud of in the Loveland area. And then lastly, going off of the art stuff with Loveland, is they have a large sign that says love, right? And what you do is you could get a lock and lock your love together and hang it on the sign. So it's really cool. It's something only Loveland does. And people come from all over the state to go lock in their love with their loved ones. Okay, so now we're on the cons list. And so I'll do 5 cons, and my first one 100% is the traffic. Number 1 con, is traffic. Just coming out here, I'm sure you could tell just even sitting here, there's a lot of traffic behind me. But just coming up, I came up from Erie. So coming up on I-25 heading north, there is so much construction, and there's been so much construction for years. They're widening the road, and it bottlenecks right there on the Loveland exit. So it is kind of a hassle if you're coming and going outside of the city. There's a lot of traffic out here. So just expect that, especially if you're heading down south towards Longmont, maybe if you're not taking the back way. Just expect that traffic because it's a bothersome for sure. Okay, so number 2 con is the lack of shopping. So there's not a mall in Loveland. They do have the outlets, and they do have the shops at Centera. So those are positive. However, they're slowly dwindling. The outlets are pretty much non-existent. There's maybe 4 or 5 stores in there. It used to be hopping, especially when I was a kid. We'd go up there all the time and shop. There really is not much to it anymore. I'm sure at some point they're going to, revamp it and put new stuff in there. But for right now, there's just not a whole lot going on there. And then the shops of Centera, that was their new version of their outdoor mall. And while it is good and it does offer, things, a lot of them are going out of business. I don't know if the rent is too high for the shops. I don't know what the deal is out there, but hopefully they're going to start getting new businesses in there to fill up those empty doors. But you do have the Macy's, you do have, Bath and Body Works and Buckle, and you have a movie theater out there as well. So, there are stuff, and you do have, your restaurants, Bent Fork, P.F. Chang's, Red Robin, I believe, is over there too. So you do have options. Across the street is technically Johnstown, but it's so close to Loveland, I still consider it to be Loveland. That's where more of your other shopping is going to be. So you're going to have Shields, which is a sporting goods store. You have Hobby Lobby, Tuesday Morning, and then a bunch of restaurants over there as well. So, you know, if anything, maybe that's where your shopping is going to come from. Over here, you're going to have Target, you have TJ Maxx, Marshalls. So you do have options. It's just not going to be that typical mall that you're used to. Probably if you want a mall, you're probably going to have to head more into Fort Collins or even Longmont. You're going to have more of those type of choices if you head farther north or south. So number 3 on the cons list is just simply, it's just pretty far from Denver. Loveland's pretty far from Denver, so you're looking at probably about an hour to get into Denver. So if you're wanting to go, you know, to a Bronco game, an Avs game, Rockies game, anything like that, and you're heading into Denver, just know you're probably gonna have an hour drive. Do I really think that's much of a con? No, but if you are a type of person who likes that city life, Loveland's probably not gonna be the place to go. Downtown Loveland, though, does offer some of that quote-unquote city life. You have the bars, the pubs, you know, the movie theater, stuff like that, but it's not going to be like straight downtown living. You just have like a little downtown strip here in Loveland. So if you're looking for something more of the nightlife, Loveland's probably not going to be it for you. And then no, also it's going to be about an hour drive just to get into Denver. All right, so number 4 on the cons list, and I don't even know if this is necessarily a con, but it is, Loveland is growing, so maybe the rapid growth with Loveland, it depends on who you are and, you know, how long you've lived in Loveland. So if you like that small town feel, I wouldn't necessarily say Loveland's that small town feel. I'd probably head maybe more over to Berthoud or Meade or Frederick or Firestone if you're looking for that, or even Johnstown for that matter. Loveland is going to be kind of a medium-sized city. You are going to be smaller than Fort Collins, so that is good. But the growth here is definitely substantial for sure. There's a lot of people who are wanting to come in here. Like I already mentioned, housing prices are a great price for people who are wanting to start off or just moving here. You get a lot more for your money in this area than you do in Fort Collins or Longmont. So people are heading this way. So if you have been living here your whole life, you probably don't like all the change and the growth within it. But if you're somebody new to this area or somebody who just likes to see that kind of stuff, that type of growth like I do, then Loveland's going to be a great place for you to live. Okay, so number 5 on my cons list of Loveland is I don't have a number 5. I honestly racked my brain. I can't really think of anything else negative about this city. So I'm just gonna leave it at 4. So that again, that is Loveland. Those are the pros and the cons of Loveland. I really do love this area. I've done a lot of business up in this area. So please reach out to me if you have any questions about moving here or anywhere in Colorado for that matter. I am licensed for the whole state. Please reach out to me. I am the one who answers those emails and text messages. Plus subscribe right there. That way you do get notified every time I have a new video. And to the next video, take care.